Our 11th, is it? Maybe 12th tech breakfast? Yeah, I'm telling you, it's growing all the time. I didn't mean to scare you all with the whole, if you don't show up. Yeah, I did actually. It did work, didn't it?
I was on the standby and then boom.
You're like, ugh. But actually, if you notice, the waiting list cleared up really fast. So everybody who was on the waiting list actually made it in. So lesson learned. If you want to show up, just register. And the people who weren't really thinking of coming, they'll just go. So, awesome. Y'all found parking too? Good, kind of? You parked in Virginia. Okay. Close enough. We were parked in Eastern Shore. Well, before we get started here, I want to thank you all for coming to our 11th or 12th, the Baltimore Tech Breakfast. Each one of these ones gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're going to be hopefully even getting into even getting closer to 150 to 200 people, which is awesome. This is Baltimore's largest monthly tech event now, which is awesome. We managed to get you all up early enough in the morning to make this happen. I have no idea how we did this. If we did this in the evening, maybe we'd have 5 million people come. So it'd be too many people for that. But I also want to thank our sponsors. First, AOL for providing this fabulous facility, and Paris, who's totally freaking amazing. Thank you. We'll do the whole, there's bathrooms between the vending machines. If you haven't found it, it's not actually between the vending machines. You have to go through the vending machines. Look for the bathrooms. Don't go to the bathroom right there. What are the things we usually announce? Oh yeah, the drinks that are in the fridges are generally consumable. So if you don't like coffee and the orange juice that I got from Giant or whatever, you can go there and get yourself a vitamin water or whatever else they have in there. Keep asking them for them to stock Michelob or like that. Heineken. I also want to thank our two paying sponsors, and I give them a moment. So we have Merrill Lynch crew, Andrew Whitelinger, and our folks from Bowie and Jensen. So Andrew, let me give you just grab the mic. Oh, hey, over there, you get the front mic. This mic.
Good morning. Andy Wallinger, Merrill Lynch. I'm wearing a suit. I'm one of you guys. I will be presenting next month. And I would just show up for the pure comedic value of that. So, and I hope Eli's here to film it, so he'll be replayed. This is great. If we can help you out in any way, JT and I, we're very good at what we do. Everyone's got checking accounts, 401ks, investments. If you want some advice on Facebook next month, just come see us. Thanks.
Great. Something about monkeys and football. Let's get into that one. Thank you so much.
Good morning, my name is Pamela Rewards. I'm an attorney with Bowie and Jensen. If you have any legal needs, we practice general business law, transactional work, agreements, non-disclosures, also for intellectual property, copyrights, trademarks, patents, so feel free to ask any questions. Thanks a lot.
Okay, well, without further ado, and the bagels and coffee are going over there, and they bought 3 extra tubs of cream cheese this time around. It's like we never have enough cream cheese. More bagels and cream cheese. We have a great show for you today. We have 6 awesome pitches. The folks from Band Happy, Beer Giver, I'm doing this all by memory, Kojami, Maryland Energy, who am I forgetting? 2 other people. Code Pupil, of course. So Ryan is here. And somebody else. It's going to be totally awesome, and also going to announce the winners of our logo contest. We had some pretty amazing submissions, and really want to thank you all for participating. But with that said, I'm going to get out of your way. And first up, we have is Beer Giver first? No, it was Band Happy. And I should know this because, look at this, we have a show.
Good morning. All right, let me get this thing set up. Where'd that little cookie sheet go?
It's in the saxophone.
Thank you. Alright, let's do that again. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jonathan Rivling, and I am the co-founder of BandHappy.com. BandHappy is the global marketplace for live, in-person music lessons that are taught either online via our custom video chat or on tour as musicians travel from city to city. We launched earlier this year, mid-January, and it functions similar to a social network. For example, students and teachers come to our sites and they create profiles. And then the students search for the teacher by the name, or band, instrument, or genre. And then they can go to the teacher's profile and check their bio and look at a sample video all before they commit to anything. And then when they're ready, they schedule, pay for, and have the music lesson all through our site. It really is that simple. You don't need any special equipment or software, except a computer with a webcam and a good internet connection. And as I speak to you this morning, there are music lessons going on that literally span the entire globe. So here's why we do it. Musicians, they have this constant struggle of, do I make music or do I make money? And students, they have a hard time finding the right teacher for them in their own hometown. Parents, they have to take their kids all over the place, fight through traffic, sit and wait for the lesson. It's tough. Personally, I dealt with all these issues a decade and a half ago when I was building my own music career. And ultimately, I actually had to leave the music industry to earn a living. And that's when I became a CPA. I know, right? So I want to talk to you about my founder, my partner, the founder of BandHappy. His name is Matt Halpern. He's a drummer in a band. He's actually out on tour. And he had this vision, this amazing vision, about a website that was so user-friendly, so easy to use. And it had all the tools you needed for music lessons all in one place. And in one stroke, it solved the problem for all those people. So the musicians could earn a living from music. They no longer needed to wait tables or do random day jobs. Students could get to their favorite musician wherever they were. And parents had one less trip to make during their hectic day. So if you're still skeptical about online music lessons, this is an excerpt from a study of middle school students that compared online music lessons to traditional lessons. Just want to draw your attention to that one right there. With an online lesson, students play 28% more compared to a regular lesson. And the reason that's important is the more the student plays, the more effective that lesson is for that student. So our target market is musicians, wherever they are, whatever they play, however they play it, and the people connected to them. They're managers, promoters, people that do the recording, people that write the songs. If you're for music, we're for you. Now, that is a very large market. So when we launched, we focused very much into the heavy metal genre because that's where our colleagues were. It's actually a cool little case study in social media. What happened was, 2 months before we launched, we created the BandHappy Facebook page. And Matt, my partner, he went out to all the bands, his colleagues, people he toured with for years, and he said, listen, this is what we're doing. We want you to be a part of it. It's going to help you out. And all you have to do is go to your own band's Facebook page and say, hey, I'm teaching on BandHappy. And then get your fans to like us. So by the time we launched, we had thousands of followers. We didn't pay a dime for that. Now that we've launched, we're executing a formal marketing plan. We're going to expand our user base by getting into other genres and the other parts of the music world. And we're going to do things, for example, like special trade shows to get into the academic side, online and print ads to get into other genres, and fun things like tour sponsorships. BandHappy earns 15% of all lessons, of all revenues, of all lesson fees taught through our site. In the future, we'll be offering products and services either by subscription or a la carte. As far as our business revenue, you know, it's not just about the banner ads, the pay-per-click anymore. Our innovation in this area was to leverage our strengths, which is our community and our technology, to create these custom products that benefit the advertiser and also the musician receiving the advertisement. Personally, I think that's like one of the coolest things we do. So let's talk about the competitive landscape. There are other companies that are in segments of our space, but there's no one company that has a comprehensive solution with a global reach like BandHappy. Other sites, they try and control the teacher too much, or they have a very limited offering of musicians, or they just sell pre-recorded lessons. We are a marketplace. We empower our users to direct their own experience. We give them the tools they need to succeed, and then we help them thrive. When I tell you BandHappy is global, I mean BandHappy is global. we have students and teachers in over 100 countries in all 50 states. Very first lesson that was taught through our system was between a teacher in Virginia and a student in the Netherlands. I checked the daily queue. There's going to be a lesson later on between a teacher from LA and a student from Singapore. And just last week we approved a guitar teacher from the island nation of Mauritius. And that's that little dot there in the Indian Ocean. So, to conclude, I want to invite you all to go to bandhappy.com and tell us, if you could take a live music lesson with anyone, who would it be? While you're there, create a free profile and take a music lesson because it's awesome. Check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/bandhappy, and because it's awesome and you should join our global community of musicians. So that's it. That's it. I have one little PS. Just want to say thank you to Ron and all the volunteers for putting this together. I've been coming to these things the last few years, and it's really amazing to see all of us here. It's such a vibrant community. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be at the last month's one. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I have to introduce you to my latest tech startup, or my latest startup. It's my kid, he's 6 weeks old. So, thank you.
Looks like he's available to play requests, so...
Weddings and bar mitzvahs.
That's right. And for those of you that heard my accordion playing at the Phil, it's very good. I only play divorces. Questions for Jonathan?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Criticisms, compliments, complaints?
Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, how are you? I saw you in February.
Right. You mentioned that this helps to make touring more profitable. Can you speak to that a little bit? How that works?
Yeah. You know, that's actually, here's the thing. The music world is very, very tough. And the musicians that are at the top of the game, they make a good living. But musicians that are popular that you would think are doing well are really not. And a lot of these bands, they make enough money to get gas and food to get from one location to the other. And so when you have so many organizations, their business manager, their record label, their artist manager, taking a cut of everything, they need to do things like this, teaching online lessons, or I'm sorry, on-tour lessons, so that they have their own money. It's actually kind of sad. That's why they need us.
Do I need to do the mic?
Yeah, because, well, I don't think we're live streaming at the moment, but Eli's recording, so.
How important is the audio quality between the teacher and the student? Are you doing anything to try and solve that?
That's an awesome question. Okay, so with our custom video chat, we actually put a lot of time into this. It syncs up the audio and the video. So if I clap my hands, you'll see and hear it at the same time, which is very important for a music lesson. And I was trying this out with one of my teachers who he already teaches lessons before us using Skype, and when I showed him that we were in sync, he was like, "Oh my God, I got to move all my students over. This is great. You solved the lag issue." So,
Yeah, just, the mic when you get a chance.
I thought it was me, by the way.
He did a duet.
So condolences on the CPA thing, by the way. I think you survived it.
yeah.
I was going to ask the same question about the quality. How do you take care of that? Because the experience is obviously needs to be high end.
Yes.
And you mentioned, I think we just approved a musician from that island.
The island nation of
right?
Mauritius. Yes.
So is there an approval process for musicians?
Yes.
So that's question number one.
Yes.
And how do you actually, so I understand it's an open market, right? If I'm a musician, I set my price. How do I get, so, and all I need as a musician also is a PC with a webcam and a mic. Is that it?
Yeah, and a lot of the webcams have mics.
Okay. And from a quality perspective, so my first question is the approval, and then how do you maintain quality? I mean, would you actually take a musician off the site if something goes bad?
Yes, and yes. So we've had, I've lost count of how many people applied, but I can tell you, we have rejected hundreds of people that thought they could teach and they just didn't have the stuff. So there is an approval process. And then if the teachers, we're monitoring for complaints, and if teachers don't act appropriately according to our TOS, we block them.
What's the approval process like?
They submit, so they create their profile, and unlike the student, which gets activated right away, the teacher goes into a queue, and then the review committee watches it and vets them. And then they're either approved or denied.
Okay, one or two more questions? Yeah.
Okay, he kind of hit on my question, but first of all, as a musician myself, guitar player,
Right on.
in multiple rock bands, I like to say that I commend you for this service because musicians do need to find other ways to make money when they're on the road. I think it's, I love the idea.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say, kind of so he said it, I was going to say, I know a lot of bands that I've been in, a lot of great musicians. Some could read music, some play by ear, right? So like, how would that, would someone who could play by ear, would they be excluded using your process or?
No, because that's an important skill. The things we look for, do they have some sort of training? They don't need a music degree, but they have to have commensurate experience. Do they have any teaching experience? So if they can play, playing by ear is a very important skill. And if you can play that and teach that, that's what we value.
That's great. That's
Great. Good job. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Thank you. For Ryan. Is our coach? Hey, there you are, Ryan. Good timing because you're up right now. What we can do while he's getting set up, I guess he did take the hike here from Virginia. We can actually, well, we usually just do these sort of lightning shout-outs, if you will, and I'm going to swap that around while he's getting ready, so we'll do that right now. The way it works is that if you have something that you're doing and you just want to let everybody know about it, just come up to the mic and say it. If you have something that you think people may be interested in, if you want to pitch something, you got a service you want to sell, whatever, you're looking for people you want to hire, you're raising money, you have some problem in your personal life, whatever, come up to the mic. Usually people will come up and they'll talk about stuff. This is your opportunity. You got about 130, 140 people here at the moment, so there you go.
My name is Jason King. I run a company, Excel, and we do web and mobile development, and we are currently looking for a Drupal/PHP developer. So, anybody knows anybody or is looking for a job, let me know.
Good job, good job. Great.
Good morning, my name is Chad Schneider. My company is Root 3 Labs. We offer design, engineering, rapid prototyping, and product development services, and so I'm happy to talk to anybody about their projects. But I'm also looking to connect with electrical engineers, industrial designers, mobile device programmers, and computer engineers to support me on specific projects. My website is root3labs.com.
Awesome. TK? I saw your waiting.
Hi, I'm TK. I'm a general partner of Wasabi Ventures. We partnered with Loyola locally to launch an accelerator here. You may have seen it in the news the last couple weeks. We launched it a couple weeks ago. Two of our first three companies are actually presenting today, including the very late arriving Ryan. Our model's a little different than maybe other accelerators you know in the world. So unlike other accelerators where you may be in a short period of time, in 3 months, and then you have a demo day and hopefully you get funded, our portfolio companies are permanent. So it's not a short period of time, you stay with us indefinitely. So it's a little different model. And we're up on York Road and attached to Loyola. And another key component of what we're offering is education. So Kendall Ryan back there in the corner sitting, we're putting on some pitch workshops, small hands-on workshops coming up in May. If you want an invite, see Kendall in the back sometime. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, great. And then you're up. We'll have a second lightning one. Okay, well, I guess you're up now. So microphone right there. And there's one right there too. Got two. You can speak in stereo.
Hello, good morning. My name is Ryan Spahn. I'm from CodePupil.com. We just actually launched our service on Friday, and CodePupil is teaching HTML and CSS, which is the language we use to code web pages. We also offer offline workshops and through meetup.com. Some are free and some are paid. And we offer them at Loyola University thanks to our partner with Saltby Ventures. So how many people here know how to code? How many people here do not know how to code? Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys how to code web pages. It's very simple. Really. Basically, a web page is a bunch of boxes on the page that are colored, that are styled with width and height and background color. And I'll go ahead and explain that. So this is an introduction exercise. I'm going to be using the exercise to teach. HTML and CSS is the code to build web pages. Again, a web page consists of boxes on a page. And let's learn how to create a blue box. This is a blue box. This is all the HTML and CSS code that creates the box. This is the HTML code in green. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Remember that, you will be quizzed. HTML tags like div create a box on the page. So this div is in HTML and it creates a box on the page. But the box has no idea how to look on the page. So we use CSS. CSS tells the box how it should look on the page. The box should be width of 250 pixels wide, height of 260 pixels tall, and it should be blue. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Again, remember that you will be quizzed. So CSS and HTML link up. And what that means is box1 here defines the box's width, height, and background color, as discussed. And then box1 links up to this div ID box1 to display this box on the page. Does that make sense? Okay, here's a quiz. Are we ready for it? Yes. Alrighty, it's pretty simple. To go to the next exercise, answer the following questions. What does HTML stand for? Is it Hippo Transit Moonlight? History Tubo Malt Liquor, Hypertext Markup Language. Anyone? Which one? Malt liquor. Pick the answer, and the hint is pick the answers that don't sound foolish. No? No. It's not Hippo Transit Moonlight, so. Maybe, Cass, what does CSS stand for? Cascading Style Sheets, very good. And so when we go through exercise here, and this is a width and height exercise, and we detail how width and height affects this box. We are increasing the pixel size, and as we're doing that, the width pixels are increasing, and the box is increasing on the page. A little bit slow here. And then we increase the height, and we see that the pixels are increasing, and the height pixels are increasing the box. We're almost there. So again, we're using width and height, and we're going to have a quick quiz here. What two CSS properties do we use to make the box grow? Do we use background color? Do we use width? Or do we use height, or width and height? Anyone? Width and height? Okay. So that's a preview of Code People there. There are also video exercises where we discuss what's going on here. Again, of course, this is box 1 and in CSS, and this is box 1 HTML. They link up, talk to each other, and display that blue box on the page. But there's other stuff here in the middle that's just needed. I mean, it's not very exciting. But I speak about this in the video. At the end of the video, we ask you to actually code this over here, and we will go ahead and check it for you and give you errors or say success. Our business model is online tutor services on chat. We just launched, so right now it's free because we want to get feedback from our users. We just launched on Friday, and we are, analyzing data, see what exercises are working and what not. But when we finally launch our full launch, we'll have online tutor chat where it's $25 an hour or $60 for 3 hours, and you can use that as much as you want. You can just come to Code Pupil and talk to a tutor and use up your time and durations. Also, we have some games we've created. Basically, reinforce how an HTML and CSS document look when you view it. So we're going to hit start, and pieces of code start flying around. We just need to click the pieces of code in the correct order. And you can cheat if you like. Just okay. So what's first? That one? Oh, back here. Next? Oh, it's over here. And so on. So again, yes, we are teaching through these exercises, whether it's the introductory exercise we showed, or the other one, through games, through videos. This is all free. And it looks like I'm about to end here, so. And we are teaching a workshop after this meetup. If you'd like to stay, we have 17 people. I've limited 4, but maybe we can, accommodate others as well. I've never taught at this place, this space before. So here you go.
All right. Great. That was actually posted, I think, to the meetup page, or there was an additional link for anybody who wanted to stay. If you have extra time, you want to learn how to do HTML, CSS, and beta test your code pupiling. But questions, comments, criticisms, complaints, kumquats? I'm running out of
The business model, and how do you assess how big this is going to be over what period of time? You have some idea as to who your market is and what you expect to earn?
Well, we have competitors like CodeAcademy.com, which is, huge, as well as Team Treehouse. Code Academy is a venture-funded startup, but they're led by people in New York who funded Twitter and whatnot. I don't see them making money, but another competitor, Team Treehouse, they are closed. They need to pay like $50 a month for their service. Again, our exercises and games are free to use. We'll be charging again through online chat. You just click this and talk to myself or talk to another Code Pupil member. And again, you can pay $24 an hour or $60 for 3 hours. And that's used at durations. You don't have to use it all at one time. That is one model, as well as our workshops. They're paid. Some are free as well. We're trying different things. We'll see what works.
Great. Anybody else? All right. Actually, I should just pass around the microphone. That's good. Yeah, that way.
So I'm not sure, so I get the.
Yes, hold on.
I got you.
Supposed to do something?
Is it on?
Is there a number?
Yeah, let's check. You can do the pantomime version. There you go.
Good job. Yeah. So, how do you plan to compete with the ones that you just mentioned? I mean, the way that I see this market for code teaching or code pupiling or whatever, right? There's the ones that you mentioned. Then there's a lot of how to, and stuff that's around there that if I want to go, like if I go and say introduction to HTML and CSS, I'll find anything from YouTube videos to stuff on Udemy and a couple of other areas, right? So in the more general, people teaching people how to do stuff. How do you plan to, what's the unique value proposition you plan to focus on? Let's say if I actually wanted to do something with HTML.
Well, the difference between this is our style of teaching is a lot different than Code Academy. What we want to do is actually get you creating a web page, probably in 10 exercises. What they're doing is they're teaching this as text. They're teaching we're doing totally different. So they're not having like these kind of interesting games as well as the exercise I went through. So it's totally unique, totally different, and you're going to learn much quicker as opposed to learning how to do text. We'll teach that later, but we're teaching you how to build actually a web page, and then after we've taught you a web page, and we'll teach you how to add text and teach what they're teaching initially.
So actually, from a pitch perspective, I would start with that. right? I mean, if I would pitch this, I would say, listen, there's a lot of stuff out there that are going to try and teach you code. It's going to take you 3 months and you're going to die before you get there.
Yeah.
What we plan on doing is actually making it a fun experience, which you had in your tagline that you never mentioned. We're going to make it a fun experience, we're going to make it through games, and by the way, you'll be up and running doing your first page after the end of the first lesson or whatever that is. And then by the way, then I would ask, then what is the long-term business model like? Once I've got my first page up, what is my next milestone? Because I get the idea that people work in milestones. I would just pitch this differently. I mean, my 2 cents here.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Great, good stuff. One more question, and then we'll put Tool Spinner up, and then we'll...
Hi, I'm Nitin from Motiveworks. Question is, would you have any quad hire services here, or do you create a platform where people who are teaching or people can hire them as HTML developers?
You mean someone, a teacher themselves can create their own lesson?
If I know this is the site where I can learn HTML and CSS, probably there are people who know CSS and HTML and they are teaching creating those lessons. Can I hire those people here for like temporary services?
For work or for teaching?
For work.
I'm sure. I mean, and in the future we can, teach people, and then as well, get them hired. That could be a model as well.
Oops, I looked at attention. Okay, great, good job. Good job, guys. Okay, it looks like we have our Tool Spinner folks up next. And, yeah, why don't you go ahead, might as well while we're waiting here.
Hi guys, I'm Craig Munson. I'm here with my co-founder, David Doe. We're here, well, we're both medical students from Johns Hopkins and web developers. Our company, SimCat, helps you when you're sick find out what you may have and what to do about it. It's a web and mobile site. And what we're a funded company. We just came back home to Baltimore from New York for Blueprint Health. What we're looking for are mobile and web developers. Our technologies are Rails, JavaScript, and Objective-C. So if you have any interest in working with the new startup, come talk to us. Thanks.
Great. Got one more? Ready?
I'm Nancy Clifford with Software Consortium. I have immediate openings for anybody that's ASP.NET, MVC3, and most of the work's off-site. So you don't have to go onto the client side as well.
Great. Perfect for my yachting experience. All right, so without further ado, Daniel Cole from Tool Spinner says early.
Okay, I'm Steve, and this is Daniel. We're building Tool Spinner. I'm the tech half, he's the business half. So with that, Danny is going to talk to us about it.
Well, good morning. He is the technical half, so don't expect him to talk much. It's fine. Thank you for the opportunity to tell you a little about what we're building with Tool Spinner. We're going to this morning go through a little bit about what we're building and why, and then we're going to do a quick demo to kind of show you. We just went live this past weekend. So if you maintain a home lawn or automobile, it's only a matter of time until something like this happens. You find yourself in need of some sort of specialized tool. And really, if you need a tool, there's only a couple options if you don't already own it. You can either buy it or you can rent it. So in this case, you're going to need like an 18-inch chainsaw to take care of that fallen tree. So you have two options. You can go to Lowe's and pick that chainsaw up for $169. That's what I like to do. I love acquiring tools. My wife does not like that. Your other option is to go to a local rental store. In this case, ABC Rental in Towson will rent this very same chainsaw for $67. So as a customer, you're kind of forced with a decision. Buy it for $170, rent it for $70, and a lot of consumers end up saying, well, I might as well just buy it. I might need it again. So you buy it, you do the job, then you put it in your shed, and it just sits there idle, and you use it maybe once, twice a year. Pressure washers, miter saws, chainsaws, all types of fairly expensive equipment. So what we thought is this doesn't make sense as a consumer. You're driving to a brick and mortar rental store, and you're passing all these people in your community, in your county, that likely own the very tool you need. So what if there's a way to connect tool owners with tool renters within your community? So that was kind of the vision and what we built at Tool Spinner. So what we do is we focus on enabling owners to make their tools available, making these idle assets usable. And for the renter, we basically peg our prices at roughly half of what a traditional brick and mortar store would be, and we give you a second day free, which is great for people like me where it takes 2 days to do anything. So we're going to jump over, show you a little demo of what we've built. We're only live in Frederick right now. We're just testing out, making sure our technology doesn't break. So Steve will jump over, kind of show you that.
Sorry, the resolution on the projector is different on that product. So here we have the home page where you initially get dropped here. You can see right now we're not in Frederick. So right now we can sign up for a tool owner account where you'll be able to list tools and start to list things. This is live, so these are tools that are listed. If you search, it's sorry, Wi-Fi here is a little slow. We have the search come up, and you can kind of page through what's going on. There is various sorts of filters going on. You can select various tools. One of the tools here would be, for instance, this closed drill. This guy, Daniel here, has a couple other tools listed. You can see as you click down through, he's got the very chainsaw he described a few minutes ago. If you sign in, every user has a username and password, of course, with just a generic dashboard where you can control messaging, you can control and see who is interested in your tool, the approval process for granting that. You can manage your tools here and make things active or not active. You can set when they're available, so if you have a special project going on this weekend and you need your chainsaw, you just make it unavailable for this weekend, and then you move on.
So Tool Spinner handles the actual payment, the interchange between the owner and the buyer. We handle replacement costs, should it be stolen. We handle repair costs, should it be broken during the course of its use. So we try to cover all the different areas that consumers have told us they're concerned about a model like this. So we hope to be able to address all those concerns and build some initial traction. So is it worth it? Why do we build Tool Spinner? How many people really rent tools? Well, there's actually 11,000 tool rental stores in the US. That's 4 per county, and it's a $9 billion a year industry. The little red line you see here is the sector we're going after. That represents the general tool rental market. That's everything that you would buy at a regular big box store like Home Depot. The pressure washers, miter saws, extension ladders, nailers, compressors, etc. So it's a very sizable market that we're chasing, and I think it's a technology solution that can really change the way people do traditional tool rentals. So the business model is very simple. We charge a commission for brokering the deal, 20%. We also have a revenue stream coming in because for each renter, you also pay a certain dollar amount based on the value of the tool. Kind of we get damage protection, similar to what you would do with Hertz. So those are our 2 first streams of revenue. Long term, there's other possibilities as well that we could consider, but those are way down the road when we get to scale. So that's the basic idea. The team is myself, Daniel, and Lil, and Towson alumni. My brother is Steven. We don't, not coincidentally, have the same last name. We've worked together for almost 29 years now. Successfully completed projects from building sand castles to tree forts to tool spinners. So that's our team. We're bootstrapped right now. We have not pursued any funding. We plan to in the future. But for now, we just want to build some traction, prove out the concept, and make our technology work. So that's what we're doing. If I look familiar, this company started last year at the startup weekend in Baltimore. We ended up pitching, really went well, got a lot of positive feedback, some really tough questions to answer. So kind of regrouped, spent a couple months, did a lot of customer interviews in Home Depot, found out a lot of what customers would want or need, and then convinced my brother to help me out here. So that was April 2011. So a year later, we're live now. We've got a real site, and we're going to grow it. So thanks for taking a moment. One last thing, we are live. It would be extremely helpful for you guys to visit the site, sign up yourself. If we're not live in your area, you leave your zip code and email, and we're going to send you an email when we are in your county or city. And then especially if you guys have any friends, family, acquaintances in Frederick, pass it along. That'd be great. That's the market we're trying to hit first, so if you know anybody there, please, it'd be a huge help to the Baltimore tech scene. Pass it along. So thank you. We'll take any questions.
Awesome. Any questions?
I have an answer.
No, they do not carry pneumatic tutorial washers.
So I have all the tools that you're talking about in my house. And
Fantastic.
so how do I make sure that people don't break them? And if I give someone my chainsaw, that they don't cut their leg off?
Well, you can't control whether somebody cuts their leg off. We have three big hurdles that we tackle. It's user liability for Tool Spinner Incorporated and for the owner. We have damage. People are concerned about the tools being broken, and theft. What if they don't return it? So the easy ones are the damage and the theft. We basically, Tool Spinner, say, hey, we give you the Tool Spinner Insurance Program where if your tool is broken during the course of the rental, you have it repaired and we'll reimburse you the full cost of that repair. Most of these tools generally they're like the $300, below $500 range, so the risk to do that, we can really cover that exposure. We're not relay rides with $15,000 cars. So we can afford to kind of say, look, we got you covered. In the event of a theft, same thing. We have replacement values for each tool listed, and so we basically reimburse you and say, here's your new tool. So in terms of liability, that is a tough one. Our current legal system is set up for business to consumer or business to business. There's not a lot of legal casework in terms of consumer to consumer interactions, especially facilitated by an online source. So it's really, it falls into the category of user-generated content in terms of like the liability. So if you look at the terms of use of the site, we're similar to Airbnb and Relay Rides. We say, hey, liability-wise, not liable. The other thing we do is to protect the owner is we have a generated form. It's a release of liability. Around the nation, there's a thing called tool libraries. It's, good neighborhood folks get together and put all their tools in a big shed, and then basically they rent out or loan out their tools. And other ones do it. Berkeley in California has one where they actually loan them out. And so these are really successful, but they require a release of liability. A release and hold harmless form to say, look, if anything happens, I promise not to sue you. So we self-generate a release of liability form directly between the owner and renter. And so it says on there, when you go and pick up your tool, somebody picks up your house, there's a form that says, I understand how to use this tool. It includes all the safety equipment as originally manufactured, and I release and hold harmless the owner in case I chop my arm off. So those are kind of our two levels of protection in terms of liability, and we think it's a solid approach. Great question, that one. The three basic questions that we receive all the time, so.
Can I try one?
Yes.
How are you going to, again, position against, I think it's Rentalics and a couple of others that are around the same idea, but more, it's not only tools, right? If I go into Rentalic, I can choose to.
So the peer-to-peer marketplace is growing. It's called collaborative consumption or the shared economy. There's a lot of companies out there. You got Airbnb, Relay Rides. You spoke to the more general marketplace ones, Rentalic, Zillow, Rentstuff.com, things like this. Their approach is very different. They focus more on the mass market. You can list wedding dresses, you can list DVDs and blenders. I really don't see that as getting a lot of traction. Rentalic's been at this for a lot of years and they don't have a lot of traction because they don't have a market focus. The companies that are really doing well in this space are focused on a niche. So you've all heard of Airbnb, Relay Rides. Of course you've heard of Tool Spinner and our very own Parking Panda from Baltimore. So these are the companies that really focused on a traditional niche marketplace and are using technology to tackle it in a unique way. And that's really what we feel at Tool Spinner. What do you rent in life? Cars, hotel rooms, parking, tuxedo when you get married once, and tools. So we see this as kind of the fifth area.
Where do you see from a technology or an experience perspective the difference in something that is focused on tools, like Tool Spinner, versus when I go into tools in Rentalic, for example? Because I went into Rentalic, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure the experience is much different than what you've just
No,
said.
and really the platform to make this happen is not revolutionary. I mean, I've got a fantastic coder here, but we've been able to generate this on night and weekend working in a couple of months. I mean, we're not the next, Google with some secret algorithm to make this happen. But what really matters in this case is the business approach. We're focused on a specific niche. So if I say I'm doing tools, well, I've got the Handy Guy podcast talking to me. I've got, the do-it-yourself network interested in, hey, what are you doing? So you can really focus on a specific niche. Whereas if you're trying to do the Amazon of rentals, the user experience isn't there. Because if I go on Rentalic and go to Dallas, Texas, or even Baltimore, they've got like 4 items, and it's like a prom dress, an old DVD, and like a random item. So the user experience is very different, and also by focusing on tools, if you go into the site and list a tool, you'll see we have categories, we have predefined, so we say, okay, it's an outdoor power tool, it's a pressure washer. We set pricing, which is a significantly different approach than what Rentalic or Rentstuff or Zillow do.
So again, just 2 cents here, right? Same thing like band happy, right? We talked about the technology that is specific to teaching bands, which is the streaming and the no latency and no delay. I think it's important, one, for you guys to find what type of technologies or user experience are relevant specifically for the tools rental space.
Yes.
And first embed them in the site, and then when you pitch this thing, make sure that it's there. It's not for the technology value, it's because the experience, people buy experience, right? They go to the site, and they want to know, for example, if I go into Tool Spinner and I find a DeVault, whatever drill that I've never used, if you have a link there to the YouTube of DeVault.
Absolutely. We have a long list of things we know.
So I would just pitch it and integrate it into the first version of the website, because I checked the website last night, by the way. The experience needs, you want to catch the user first time, otherwise you will never come back.
Well, we do encourage you to come back at least a second.
Okay, I'll come back second.
Great. Well, if you did
Sorry to go over the 10-minute mark.
No problem. You do prom dresses and so on. Okay. All right. So, all right. Let's do Sean Handy from Beer Giver, and then we're going to do our next break. And sounds good. But I guess while we're setting up, anybody? Oh yes. Thank you. Applause. I need that kind of social cue. It's very important. Anybody else who has something they want to share?
I'm Brian Erdman from Tamarack Insurance Group in Hunt Valley. And, we have specialized programs for technology companies to insure your assets and your business needs. So if you guys need help with insurance, let me know.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Joe Ford. I work for CPSI. We're a staffing firm located here in Baltimore. We're a small business, been around almost 30 years. Our niche is IT and engineers. So if you're looking for a job, we can help. And if you're a startup, please give us a look. We can do contract hiring. Joe Ford with CPSI. Thank you.
Great.
Good morning. My name is Jonathan Warm, founder, CEO of Rowdy Orbit. What we do, we feature TV quality content specifically for the African American, Hispanic online viewing audiences. We just signed a 2-year licensing agreement with a new African American television network called Punch TV, and we wound up selling 4 shows to them and 1 in potential development as a replacement, to take these web shows that exist in short format and extend them to half an hour TV shows.
One more, and then.
Good morning, Daniel Sternclar from View3D.tv. We create interactive multimedia productions utilizing video, animation, 3D video, and 3D animation. And also we work in the augmented reality space. You can talk to me about what that is. And we also have a new technology that we call video triggered web events, where we can actually trigger changes in a web page as the video plays. And we love collaborating with other web designers, also JavaScript programmers, and artists. So see me afterwards.
Okay, great. Now Sean's on with Beer Giver.
Hello, everyone.
Hello?
There we go. My name is Sean Kennedy. I'm the founder of BeerGiver.com. It's a pretty simple concept. You have these situations you're always in terms of you can't make the birthday party, you're stuck at work, you need to settle a bet with a friend. You need to say, hey, thanks for a good job at work, I really appreciate it, or just something a little more unique than here's a gift card, here's some cash, go have fun. So you can go on BeerGiver.com and buy that person a drink, an actual drink. Additionally, there's situations in business where they have an event, a situation, they need to bring to their establishment, and only their establishment. They want to broadcast that message, and they can do it on their regular newsletters or Facebook or Twitter or whatever it might be, but there's no real urgency for an individual to come in. So there's always the situation of, hey, I have this gift certificate, I have this free money, first person to come in gets it. Simple as that. It puts that their audience who is already interested in their product, their venue, to come in right now and spend that money. So for the product itself, very simple. First it goes on our website, phone number, amount, message, pays through PayPal. The receiver on their smartphone is going to get a text message with that personalized message from the friend. They click on the URL, up comes a QR code. Bartender is going to scan that QR code, take money off the bill, and hand you a drink. It's that simple. So our business model is also very simple. This process cuts out the birthday card. It's probably going to run you $2, $3, $4, $5. If you have some music in there, maybe $10, just for that card alone. Not many people actually keep those birthday cards. So we put on 5% plus $1. So if you're going to send $10 to your buddy, it's going to cost you an extra $1.50. Pretty nominal. And then on the business side, for them to be able to issue these themselves, lock it in, bring in people to their business, replace their gift card system. We haven't quite figured out that model yet because the functionality hasn't been bolted on, but we are almost there. And we have commitments from a couple businesses who are very interested in this. So what are we doing? We're building a brand, a community. These numbers don't actually mean dollar signs, but this is growing. 2 weeks ago, we were at 275 likes. The community is building on itself, interested in the idea. There's an itch that needs to be scratched. So to paraphrase some of the people up here, there's no easier way. It's a no-brainer for the businesses, and Beer Giver is just awesome. And then we also have people who keep coming back. They're looking for the updates, waiting for us to expand into their area, add the products or the features that they want. So right now we're at 18 locations. We have 3 more that will come on in the next week and a half. Some very big names in the area. The average gift that is sent is $12. Not a big deal. But the business, it's a big deal when they spend $33 on average. That is a win for them. So what's happening with the actual market? What's happening with the users who are using this system right now? We've had people come sending gifts from as far away as California, Texas, Louisiana. It's not just the beer drinkers, the people going out binge drinking at 1 a.m. in the morning, shots, 3 p.m. to 1 a.m. Could be a happy hour, full dinner, whatever it might be. $5 to $75, whether it's a, hey dude, thanks for helping me out with this report at work, or happy anniversary. We even had one father from, the one from Texas was sending his kid, 21st birthday in Baltimore, $50 saying, hey, have a great time, be safe. So our competitors, there's a lot of areas out there that are in our space or we're trying to push into theirs. You have your coupon people, they're not premium customers, they're bringing in deal hunters. People plan their entire vacations around these deals. Then you have the social things like Foursquare and Yelp. They have no financial incentive for the business, none. And you have places or products like PayPal and Square, financial incentive, but there's no social engagement with their customers. And then you have people directly in our business. They can, and many do, lock their receiver into a specific drink at a specific place at a specific time. We allow the individual with the beer giver to go anywhere that is accepted if it's not locked into a venue. So what we're offering is a premium customer who's going to spend real cash. Very easy to use, the customers are engaged, and the business is ready to play games. For our current roadmap, some things we're working on, native apps, increasing our transactions, our locations, and bringing in the social features, one of which will be done by the end of the week. In our team, it's myself, 2 partners who couldn't make it here today, Sean Kennedy, Ryan Brickelmeyer, and Scott Cover. We all have experience in enterprise software development and consulting. It's a high stress, very painful area to be in, so we drink a lot. I mean, researching, yes, and networking. And that's Beer Giver. One more plug though. The lady who does these slides and competed in the Baltimore Tech logo contest is Samia Brickelmeyer. She's the wife of one of my partners, and she's awesome. So if you're ever looking for design work, she's from the Eat Leaf and can answer any questions.
More on that in a second. Questions? A resident Shark Tank? No? I'm just putting it out there. All it is. Oh, good.
So just one thing to clarify the service itself. So when I buy, do I buy a specific thing or I buy an amount of money?
You're basically buying a gift certificate that is electronic.
So it's a gift certificate, and I can, and it doesn't have to be beer. I can buy chips and fries.
This is just one branding mechanism for a gift certificate.
So I like the idea a lot. I think it's the reverse engineered Groupon, right? It's like the reverse of Groupon. So I like it, and I can see how that becomes a marketing mechanism for the facilities themselves, for the shops. What I'm not sure I get though is do you see the future of this being alcoholic drinks only, or do you see this becoming anything? And if you see that going beyond beer, why call it beer giver?
That is probably the number one question we get.
Okay.
It can be a lot more. We have ideas where it could go, but we also have, this is not the venue I would discuss a lot of those details and where we're going with this, but absolutely, it does not have to be just beer.
Okay. I think for, just as an idea, by the way, maybe you've discussed this and I'm boring you now, but I would really try to, I think that for me as a consumer, and I don't know, maybe other people would say it also, if I could buy instead of a gift card, a specific thing, it would be easier to consume, and I think it would feel more personal. I'll give you an idea. When I saw the beer giver thing, I thought that literally I'll buy you 2 beers. I think for me, actually, to give someone 2 beers is better to give them 25 bucks. You know what I mean? It's like I meant for you to drink a beer, or I bought you a cocktail. Instead of a gift card. I think a gift card is just generic. I didn't put any thought into it. So if you wanna, I think that if you put it in if you can package like specific gifts, user experience would be better. That's my feeling, by the way. Market of one.
No, it's absolutely fair, and we've heard that before, but that's part of where we differentiate from some of our competitors. For example, there's a glitter out there that you pay them $1, but you pay the bartender $1, and you get a drink. But it's from a very select menu. It's rail drinks, it's imports, it's whatever they want to use to cover their costs and still get you to spend money. So I completely understand there's a lot of logistics in terms of buying a specific drink, whether you're purchasing it and then telling them, hey, I want you to drink a beer, but maybe they're in a martini mood, or you say, hey, you can have a Michelob, but they actually wanted to do Claw or Maryland beer, whatever it might be. So you're giving them the opportunity to get what they want at the place that they want to go to. So while I understand the lock them into, hey, I want a beer or a martini or whatever it might be, and I don't want to put a dollar amount to that. It also has to be tied into the pricing of each venue and lots of logistics. What do they have? Are they cycling inventory, whatever it might be? But thank you.
Chris?
Yeah, unlike my Shark Tank friend, I actually like your focus, because, I mean, you socially walk up to someone's, or you need to give somebody, why don't we meet for a beer? I mean, that's the line. So I like the focus, so.
Thank you.
Because you can always expand.
Absolutely.
So, but my question is, you're a symbiotic relationship here. So you've got your consumers, but you got to have the venues. And like all of these deals that are like this, getting both sides of them to grow at the same time is usually the difficult thing. What's the go-to-market strategy to get more venues?
And from an investor standpoint, that's the number one question.
That's my job.
How do we scale from a location standpoint? It is certainly something that we're still trying to figure out in terms of manpower. It takes a lot of people going in, talking to the owners, getting to the right person who can say yes, hand over the bank account information so we can pay them when we need to pay them, things like that. We are just now starting to see the feedback loop in terms of locations asking us to come out there for a meeting. We don't have the technology in place yet to securely store and manage account information, as well as we want to make sure that the locations are trained. It is certainly something that we are developing right now in terms of videos, how-tos, how do you redeem, how does this work, why do you want to use it. From a bar staff to a manager to an owner, each perspective is very different. And getting each person to buy in and then upsell to their customers, link it out on their website, it's a lot of logistics. We are absolutely focused on scaling that, so they sign up themselves, they learn how to use it without us having to go in person. From a consumer standpoint, it's feeding on itself. From a location standpoint, it's starting to come feeding on itself, and we just need to build the infrastructure for them to support it.
Great. Thank you very much, Sean. I will tell you, she's my wife. She loves beer. She loves wine better. She loves flowers more. So she's like, give me flower, give her. Make me happy. Okay, so, all right. Well, how many of you voted? And so how do you love our existing logo of, I don't know who that is. It's like, does anyone recognize those actors? Like two, well, with one guy's weightlifting like this, little like this. Who people love our existing logo? Yeah, right. 2 people. Okay, so other than those 2 people, no, I'm joking. We thought, it's like, it's about time now that the Baltimore Tech Breakfast is growing for us to like have a decent look. So we had a little logo contest. How many of you voted in the logo contest? Oh yeah, you all rock. Totally, totally. The great thing about this logo contest is that there are winners and there are prizes. The top winner, not only we use their logo, so thank you very much, but also we promote them on the site. They get sponsorship for a year. There's a $50 Visa gift card. There's all sorts of AOL swag. And there's just, bragging rights. You go like, hey, I designed the Baltimore Tech Breakfast logo. Second place, third place also give a lot of promo, and there's a $25 gift card for the number 2 place. Number 3 place just gets all the good promo, plus a kiss if you want that from me. And then all of our participants get a swag bag, courtesy of AOL. We love you guys so much. So let's start. Well, I just want to show you some of the submissions for those of you that didn't have a chance to look. You can submit as many times as you want. These top 3 were submitted by Samia Bricklemeyer of Ink Leaf. Lucy Clark submitted 8 logos, different ideas. We had quite a few submissions. We had 19 submissions from 9 different people. Actually, if any of you, the people who submitted logos are here, why don't you come on up? Because I think we first of all owe you our gratitude for just being here. And besides, then we'll tell you what's up. So just happen to be up here, and nothing can be better than that. Joy Adams as well. Where's Joy? Joy, okay. And then Gary, is Gary here? Gary Davison? He submitted the interesting waffles of Maryland image there. Is Brendan McAdams here? Sarah Lee. Now, Mark McTamney didn't actually submit this. This was done by Tara Urso. Is Tara here? Or Tara?
Yeah, she could make it.
Okay, so Mark, you'll be here accepting whatever under her. And David Brinsfield, Breakfast of Champions, right? So I guess we'll start by, some of you have a lot of friends. So you know how these polls work, right? It's sort of like everybody votes, and then you tell all your friends to vote. And, whoever has the most friends usually wins. And actually, this is a true story. I was originally hosting this thing on a site called ProFS, whatever, and that site totally died. It just, I don't know what they decided to do, but like in the middle of our contest decided, we're going to upgrade our system. I'm like, am I the only one using your polling app? So, totally died. So I'm just like, screw this. I was at the job script meetup last Wednesday. The whole thing died. I'm like, I'm going to build my own freaking polling app. It took me 2 hours to like build this thing. It's not rocket science. Maybe I should sell this thing. So starting from the bottom here, these are sort of the vote getters that were at the bottom here, and we're moving on up, so I can slowly reveal who our 3rd place winner is. Lucy, thank you very much for submitting all of your entries. I think what we'll do is, even though we had heard people submitting multiple entries, I think we decided that we're going to give the prizes to individual people rather than to necessarily 3 prizes to the same person if for some reason the same person got the top vote getter. So let's see here. So the number 3 logo, I think, was this one, the spoon. I should click on it here. That's right, magic of JavaScript. Coffee plugin. So that was our 3rd place. That was our 3rd place logo vote getter. But our 3rd place person vote getter was Lucy. This was also Samiha's here. So this one is Lucy's, Baltimore Tech Breakfast, which I liked as well. But our 2nd place vote getter was I revealed that, was Tara Urso's Baltimore Tech Breakfast design, which was really awesome. So Mark, 2nd place vote getter. So let's actually, how should we do the awards? How should we do the gifts? I can tell I'm not very good. So let's start with the 3rd place vote getter. Third place vote getter gets AWOL swag and t-shirts and an optional hug or kiss. All of the submissions get there's an AWOL swag bag. See Paris afterwards. She actually has like a bag. She's going to give you the stuff in it. Our second place vote getter was Tara Urso with Mark McTowney at Parking Panda. Awesome. Right there. And the logo we'll be using is the Fork and Plug Baltimore Tech Road, which I love that design. See the Breckenmeyer. Great design work. I really like that design. I think it's a good design. I think this will suit us well for a Baltimore Tech Breakfast. So you won't see the two crazy weightlifting people anymore. I really appreciate all your designs. I want to encourage you all to use the services of all of these people, Joy and Lucy and Samiha and all of those Baltimore local graphic designers. I'm going to be sending out an announcement with all of their contact information and maybe links to their portfolio or whatever work. Some of your information I'm going to send to everybody. And we really appreciate your participation. All right, thank you very much. All right, so we can do a few more minutes here, and then we'll get the next one set up. I think that's our Maryland Energy. Is that right? They point click switch. Schedule here. Yes, it is. Hey, Jason. Do you have a present or? It's already on there. Oh, it's already on there. Okay, while we're waiting. Harrison, up here, Gibson. Somebody has something else to say? Blaze and.
So I'm Blaze Sanders, the CEO and CTO of Solar System Express. We're doing space skydiving. We just want to announce the new consulting deal we got with Juxtopia Company to develop their augmented reality goggles, which we'll be using in our suits, and to just introduce everyone to the consulting options that we have through the JUICE Lab. The governor came and visited us last Friday as part of the Innovate Maryland. So if you need any technical consulting, come see us.
Great. Place is a great resource, so thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Christopher Westbrook with Visual Cast Technologies, and we do big data. I am currently looking for someone who does penetration testing and review of networks. So if you know anyone who does any hacking or cracking, just I'm around Visual Cast Technologies. I'll be at every Tech Breakfast. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Nothing else. Let's go.
Good morning. I guess I should grab the mic. Thank you. Good morning. Do that? Okay. Good morning. How many of you guys out there get a Baltimore Gas and Electric? Okay. If we could save you 14% on your Baltimore Gas and Electric bill and it would be free, how many of you would be interested? So this is the market that we're going after. I'm Jason Schwartzberg. I'm the president of Maryland Energy Advisors. We're a commercial energy brokerage company. We're working with companies like Pearl Vision, Comfort Inn, Sleep Inn. We have a couple of student housing projects that we're working with as well down in College Park, the Varsity. We've been at the commercial space since 2010. We've seen an interesting opportunity to move into the residential space as well. That's what we'll be focusing on here today. So, in '99, the state of Maryland was deregulated from an energy perspective. So us as consumers, we have the opportunity to select a supplier of our choice. People select suppliers for a myriad of reasons. Some folks want renewable power, some people want longer terms, but most importantly, everybody wants to reduce their rate. We've put together something that we think is pretty effective in order to do that. In Maryland, there's 1.6 million households. 77% of us have not taken advantage of energy choice up until this point. We dove pretty heavily into how is the industry currently acting, how are suppliers currently going about the industry. Door-to-door, direct mail, telemarketing, print ads, radio spots, and some multi-level marketing folks as well. There's 37 different suppliers out there right now in the marketplace. So if you as a consumer see this as a unique opportunity or something that you're interested in checking out, how do you compare 37 different offers? 37 different terms, 37 different pricing structures? You don't. There's no way to do it. Enter PointClickSwitch.com. PointClickSwitch is essentially the Expedia of energy choice. We aggregate the 7 to 10 most competitive offers in the marketplace and allow folks interested in switching to log onto the site, grab a copy of their bill. You can click Enroll Now, the red button, and it'll prompt you for your name, address, telephone number, your electric choice ID. We take it from there. Everything will seamlessly transition on the next meter read date, and we'll start saving some money. With a clear value proposition, our service is free to the consumer. Right now, we have offers that are 14% cheaper than what you're currently paying with Baltimore Gas and Electric. The annual household uses about 1,100 kilowatts a month, or a little over $12,000 a year. The average savings is about $160. Again, this is not changing anything, not changing any of your habits. If you want to keep the AC at 65 during the summer, you can do it. If you want to keep the windows open during the winter, you can do it. None of your habits need to change. All we're doing is lowering your rate that you're paying per kilowatt. And a switching process that could have taken weeks is reduced to minutes. Again, no one has the time to pick up the phone, call 37 different suppliers, and see what the current offers are within the marketplace. So taking our tech breakfast here is a little bit of a case study. Again, 77% of us have not taken advantage of energy choice. It's about 112 of us at an average savings of $157. If we decide to switch, we're looking at savings of $17,500 just within this room for selecting an alternative supply. Our business model, it's free to the consumers. We receive our payment from suppliers. Some pay us up front, some pay us a residual model. Our focus is really keeping our cost to acquire as low as possible, hence the internet approach. Again, we're trying to be as consumer friendly as we possibly can. We're looking to innovate in this space. We recently launched something we're pretty excited about. If folks don't want to take the time to log on to PointClickSwitch and analyze all of the offers, you pull out a smartphone, you take a picture of your bill, you send it to us, and we'll let you know what's going on. We'll aggregate the savings for you. If you're interested, just type back I accept, and we'll take it from there. Some challenges in this space, obviously. We have some homegrown behemoths in Constellation with 7-figure marketing budgets. Our goal is to increase brand awareness when we can. To date, we have a couple of ways we're going about it. We have some outreach programs. We'll do a Bring Your BGE Bill to Work program. We'll come to your workplace with a 10-slide PowerPoint, really get into energy choice, answer any questions that folks may have, and then we allow people to switch on the spot. That's been a pretty effective tool for us. We're also working on some family-friendly events, whether it's bring your bill to the ballpark and you get free admission and a minor league game. That's something that we're working on as well. Strategic partnerships, affinity groups. If you're a nonprofit, maybe there's the opportunity that we partner together. We can give a percentage of the proceeds back to the nonprofit. Existing businesses with large books of business, it's also an opportunity. Again, we started out the presentation, how many of us get a BGE bill? Everyone's a potential customer. Everyone gets a BGE bill in this room. And what we're really looking to do is we're going to take a focus on the next couple of months of really building our social media platform and our brand recognition. If someone takes advantage of our opportunity, we'd like people to sign up. Hey, you can see it in your status update on Facebook. I just take 14% of my energy bill through PointClickSwitch. Check it out. So that concludes our presentation, and I definitely would be interested in answering any questions that you guys may have. Good job.
Hey, so I switched a couple months ago, largely because my credit card company sent me an offer, so 20,000 miles if I switched, and it's cheaper. But anyway, I was curious if you can manage a relationship moving forward. So I switched to some company, let's say it's 10 cents cheaper kilowatt hour. If 2 months from now, it's 12 cents cheaper with another supplier. Can you manage that and change it for me? Is that feasible?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when we develop PointClickSwitch, we really focus on two areas: lower rate per kilowatt and being as consumer friendly as possible. Two of our most competitive offers actually don't have contracts or cancellation fees. So a lot of folks out there, if you switch suppliers, they lock you in for a year. If there is a circumstance where you go from 12 to 10, you don't have options. As long as you're not under contract, we can effectuate a switch for you. We say as long as you're not under contract because we don't want you to bump into a termination fee, but that is a relationship that we can manage for our customers. As, again, consumer advocates, we have supply offers from multiple different suppliers out in the marketplace. So we want to comes time for renewal, we're going to reach out to you and say, hey, this is what your current offer is with your current supplier. This is our most competitive offer to date, to make sure that we're continually touching our customers and making sure that they're getting the most competitive offers in the marketplace.
I live in a city, and a lot of people obviously have gas for your oven, dryer, water heater. Do your rates reflect gas, or is it just primarily electric?
Yeah, so we're a licensed electricity broker currently to date. We're going to drop our application for gas as well. It only makes sense. One consumer represents two opportunities for electric and gas and two revenue opportunities for our company. So being that we're a licensed electric supplier, we'll have to go through the Public Service Commission to get licensed, but it is something that we're working on.
Hi, are there any companies doing this in other states that you're aware of?
There are. In terms of Expedia.com approach or one-stop shop, there's a company in Illinois and a company in Texas. It's an interesting question. There's 16 Z-regulated markets in the country. So obviously our goal is to do what we do in our backyard and then look to some other states. And we're currently licensed in Illinois as well.
I'm one of the 77% that has the switch, and it's probably because I'm more of an ignorant consumer in that, when I look at stuff like this, I think, well, I'm working with DGE, I might be paying $12 more a month, but I know who they are, they're big, power goes out, I know who to call, I know that they'll be there, I see their trucks all the time. Is there any risk in switching to a smaller company? I mean, do I, if I can pay $150 more a year and not have to worry about anything, I'm kind of okay with that. So what are my risks if I switch?
Great question. We have a tagline which is same bill, lower rate. So everything else remains the same. I have a copy of my bill here actually, similar to one of the other presenters. I have a 3.5-year-old son at home, so if there was risk that the heat wouldn't work or the AC wouldn't work, I wouldn't have made the switch. You're still billed by Baltimore Gas and Electric. You still write your checks out to Baltimore Gas and Electric. When the power goes out, you still call Baltimore Gas and Electric. All you're doing is purchasing power from another supplier that's actually getting delivered on the lines of Baltimore Gas and Electric. And you also raise an interesting point. It's also a little bit of a misnomer that some of these guys are smaller suppliers. Con Edison Solutions out in New York is one of our most competitive suppliers. They have one of the most competitive rates and no cancellation fee. Pretty large company out of New York. So it's a great question. And that's where the Bring Your Bill to Work events come in, is we have the opportunity, people ask good questions. And once they have the opportunity to ask their questions, then they're interested in taking advantage of the opportunity.
I recently switched myself primarily because my wife has gone green on me. So she went over, evaluated a bunch of it. I wonder if you have any thought of the environmental impact of your choice and give that as customers.
Sure. No, great question. We have two renewable options on the site. One is Clean Currents out of Rockville. They have a 50% green option and a 100% green option, and we have another green option as well. So that's a segment of the marketplace that we're trying to address.
Howdy. There are also a lot of multi-level marketing companies that are in this space, like Viridian and others.
Sure.
Do you see them as competitors, or how's that situation factor into what you're trying to do?
Yeah, great question. Again, we're independent. We're licensed, bonded, and insured by the Public Service Commission, and we have supplier options with multiple suppliers out there in the marketplace. So if someone's representing one supplier, at times they could have a good rate, and at times they might not have a good rate. So our goal is to be, again, as consumer-friendly as possible, be representative of the 7 to 10 most competitive offers in the marketplace, and not be tied to one supplier where if the rate's not competitive, we don't have a value proposition for the consumer.
Great. Okay. Wow. Thank you. Awesome. Well, That was an electrifying speech. So bad. Okay. All right. So, how many of you have been to Baltimore Tech Breakfast now for a while, like for like 7 or 8? Okay. Some of you may have actually seen Randall at an earlier Baltimore Tech Breakfast that we did in Towson. Anybody here been to that one? Well, he had some technical difficulties. If you don't remember, he was holding up his laptop. Not really the best way to do a demo. So we figured, let's redo on this one and give Randall, to give him a better shot. More people, that means more eyeballs, that means more pressure.
Yes, I'm happy I waited. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Good. So I just want to start by asking some questions. So how many people still get flyers or information about events? Like, when was the last time you got a flyer about something? Yesterday? You still get them? So when you get the flyer or whatever it is about the event, what do you actually do with that flyer? Somebody said throw it away. You know, the process is just to understand, like, when people try to advertise to you and try to get information to you via a flyer or you see a billboard, how do you pull that information into something that you can do a little bit more with, or something you can pull up later? Most of the time we are going to throw it away. We're not going to keep a flyer in our wallets or purses or whatever it is till the day of the event. So Kajami was born out of this concept of just a situation where you see something you want to attend, whatever it is, either it's a billboard or you see something online, and it's just so difficult to take it and do something with it. Either it's to put it in your calendar or share with a friend or do a lot more with it. So I think I always tell people billions of dollars are spent every single year trying to get the information to you, but they don't really take enough time to evaluate what happens when life happens to you. You're not going to keep the flyer, you're not going to see whatever it is. You see a billboard of Bill Gates speaking next week, you're like, I want to go to that. You get to your car, you see a ticket on the car, everything that you just encountered for the last hour probably is gone. So this time I'm actually going to go through a demo. Last time I wasn't able to go through it. But every time I see this video, for some reason, it always reminds me kind of what Kajami is and what we're trying to accomplish.
You think that's some information I would like to know? I like tacos. You invited Eric? I thought Eric gave you the creeps. Oh. Yeah. Hey.
Don't be left behind. AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, is getting faster with 4G.
So the main thing I want to focus on from that video is just the ability for somebody to create an event and instantly pass it around the office and everybody get the information and be able to do something with it. That's what Kajami is, and that's kind of what we had in mind when we first created Kajami. So here's a little bit about what Kajami is and what it does.
Networking engagement, concert, even a large outdoor festival. Your goal is to get the right crowd to your event, while guests just want to discover, interact, and stay connected to your event. Where do you start? How will people hear about your event? Online, you're often limited to your network, or you use a service that takes a percentage of profit. Offline options like radio ads, flyers, or newspapers make it difficult to keep people connected to your event. Kojami is a mobile event solution that makes it simple to create, distribute, and manage events before, during, and after. Before the event, organizers can create an interactive, mobilized event that can be shared via mobile, email, and online. Attendees can instantly access event details, venue directions, RSVPs, tickets, media, and more, all from their smartphones. Our revolutionary Plus, Shove, Discover, and Match features empowers organizers to reach beyond their network, allowing users to socialize, share, search, and receive alerts about interesting events. During the event, staff can check in attendees from a tablet or smartphone using a synchronized list. Kojami supports mobile reminders for attendees who have RSVP'd or purchased tickets but haven't arrived. After the event, Analytics of views, scans, attendees, and photos are available to aid in planning future events. Kojami changes the way you discover, interact, and connect to events. Start your event today at kojami.com.
So Kojami is a full life cycle event solution. So what I mean by that is we focus on the event before, during, and after. And when we think about events, we try to consider both sides. At every event, there's an attendee and there's an event organizer. So the whole point is to simplify the entire process of you finding the event and helping the event organizers simplify the process of marketing the event. So as soon as the user creates an event in our system, immediately a mobile HTML5 mobile app is created for them. They get a web profile, and if they have a widget on their website, it automatically gets updated. So that way you can bypass the whole process of, I need to put an event on my website, I need to get a developer to put it up and developer to take it down. We all know people who have websites and they still have events from last October because it just takes too much work. So we try to simplify that process. So as soon as you post the event, your website is updated, you get the mobile and you get the web. So it takes all the work. I was trying to figure out, okay, what are people checking this on? Is it going to be the mobile? Is it going to be on the web? And we have that issue now with Twitter and Facebook. I think the numbers of 40% of people check their Twitter, Facebook, / whatever straight from their mobile device. And only 30% of websites are actually mobile friendly. So we try to simplify these kind of repetitive processes of creating an event so you can focus on more of managing the event. So before the event, we help you market. During the event, we help you manage and keep the user connected. And after the event, we give you full analytics about the event. So as soon as you post the event, you start to get an idea of how much traction you're getting. You're seeing the views, you're seeing the rate people are RSVPing, buying tickets, Twitter conversation. They can watch videos and see pictures of the last time you had the event. So what I'm going to show right now is what the web profile looks like for the event. So this is our main website. Here's a web profile for the event, basic information about tickets. Somebody can scan this tag, immediately get the information. They can see photos about the event, and they can start the Twitter conversation, videos, see the agenda of what's going on for the night. The mobile version is very similar. Like I said, it works across all phones, Blackberries, even non-smartphones. Users have the ability to see all the information about the event right at their fingertips. So what we're really trying to focus on, we feel like events are mostly mobile. So if we can take it mobile where you can take the event into your hand, immediately share it with somebody, it's just an easier process. If I ask everybody what was the last time you shared the event from an email, you probably never do that. But if you see something and it's on your mobile, it's easy to access, you can easily grab it and either have somebody else scan it from your phone, or you send a URL to somebody's SMS and automatically they get information all about the event. So this app here helps you with the basic things that you would think of: RSVPing, turn-by-turn directions, the ability to integrate into whatever you're working on. So I know I'm kind of short on time there, so that's kind of the consumer-facing aspect of our product. And like I said, here's the widget here. You can inject inside, customize it anywhere you want. People click on it and it'll go to specific information about the event. As people are RSVPing, you can manage your event right here from your console. And everything you're seeing now are people using the event. We've been live now since March. We pulled in over 10,000 RSVP and ticketing since then. We actually haven't marketed at all. It's only been referrals from people who saw it for a certain event. So that's the great thing about the product. We introduced it to one event organizer. They have a group of about 500 people, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. So if you'd like to learn more about what Kojami is and what we do, talk to me after, or go to kojami.com on your phone, on the website, sign up, play around with it. We have a few packages right now. There's a free option, so create as many events as you want. We've had a lot of people use it for their birthday parties, and we've had people use it for concerts and grand openings. So I think the largest event we've had so far was 2,000 users at one time, and they used the iPad to check people in, and they had all the data about when people were actually attending the event, and just to kind of give them an idea of when it actually picked up and who actually came to the event. Thank you for your time.
Very good. Very good. All right, questions, comments, cucumbers?
Amen. I imagine that important to your business model is repeat use by event organizers, and the bigger the event organizers they are, the better. Can you tell us anything about any business intelligence or market analytics that are available from your system?
Well, one thing that we do with our system, just for repetitive, we have this concept of being able to gauge your network size, so you have a concept of how loyal people are. So for example, in this room here, we would be able to tell how many people have been to this tech breakfast, how large the group is. Right now we have probably over 150 people, but if we were to put all the tech breakfasts over a period of time, we could see a unique number of 500, 600, and I think that data tends to keep them in. And just the whole model of simplifying some of these repetitive tasks also tend to keep them in. Nobody wants to, rewrite how to interact with people on Twitter or Facebook, and really the options are kind of limited right now. I hear Eventbrite a lot from it, from most people. So I think right now there's no solution that people are loyal to, and they're really open to a lot. And I think that's why people are actually gravitating to the system.
The event management market is both very, very crowded and relatively mature. So how do you stand out in a market that's like that, in that segment?
So the event market, we get that a lot from the management piece, and like I said, we help before, during, and after, and we see a lot of management pieces that actually don't help you get the word out. They just help you manage when people get to the event, and people are actually trying to figure out how else they can get the word out, and how else they can figure out how much traction their event is actually getting, and how they can use that data to plan their next event. So I have this event management system, and I'm sitting at the venue with my fingers crossed, hoping people come to the event. It's more than that. So that's why I call it a full event lifecycle solution. We do the management, but the marketing piece, the before piece, is a really big deal for most event organizers, especially the mobile piece.
All right, anybody else? Last one?
Yeah. Quick one. What are you targeting really? I mean, you mentioned families for birthdays, and then you mentioned the 2,000 people concert, and then I think that the question is relevant, right? There's a lot of event management options out there.
Correct. So we are, just to answer your question, we're targeting everybody. Yes, it sounds like a bad idea, but we're letting the market pick us rather than pick a certain market. And right now we track all our data. We see college campuses using it. A lot of churches use it for the repetitive process of they want to keep their congregations connected. We see comedy clubs using it for all their events. It's just a plethora of different type of people using it. Nonprofits use it a lot. So right now, instead of going towards a certain market, we're putting the product out there and just watching who's gravitating towards it and trying to solve the problem that they're having. So with the management piece, management process is pretty basic. There's not too much you can do, and then we're integrating other parts, other things that are new today, like Twitter and whatnot. So we have this solution where when somebody tweets their hashtag and they tweet hashtag help, that message goes immediately to the event organizer so they can have it in front of them and respond to it. And if it's a question that's frequently asked, they can immediately convert that to an FAQ on the mobile device so people can always see that. So we're trying to think out of the box as far as how we can use the current technology and how people communicate now to actually help the people who are actually running these events.
I was thinking more from the side of how do you get to exposure to your whatever at the end of the day is your target audience, right? Because I would imagine that the experience or the type of user experience you want to give me as a birthday party organizer is different from if I'm a bar that gives shows or a church. And I mean, from a product perspective, I was more worried from a product perspective, how do you keep your efforts focused on the target audience?
Okay, so for the target audience, which, the event organizers, they're really interested in big data. They like the concept of, first of all, you helping them market the event. So we have a mobile app coming out this summer that's going to help them push the event out. So the concept of you having an event, you physically have to put it all over town to get people to know about it. We kind of automate that process, right? The users come into the system, download our app, pick the categories of events they like, and as soon as that event comes around the neighborhood or something is created, now they have this stream of events that they can select from. So the marketing piece for a lot of event organizers is actually very important to them. They continue to go back to that piece, helping get the message out.
We
without this mic though, but I would just say one thing, right? You know, people remember a thing, definitely in a crowded market. So like, let's say that the mobile phone industry, so people remember the phone with the touch screen, the phone with the loudspeaker, this thing. In the event management space, it's a tough space. Think what Kujami really is, and it can't be end-to-end. Don't use end-to-end, because end-to-end is overused. Kujami is the thing that helps you market fine-tune that message, then people will not ask this question, because you are the thing that has this one thing different. Remember
So we know
with Bill Crystal, one thing?
the management piece is about 10% of our system. That's, people just use it to check people in.
So that's what it's not. Think about what it is.
Correct. So it's it's an event marketing tool.
I think you need to fine-tune, but later on.
Great. Now is your opportunity to network, because we are at the end here. I want to thank Randall, but I also want to thank everybody. I don't know about you, but I thought these showcases are getting better and better and better and better. So, band happy? He's got a saxophone solo right afterwards. Definitely crank out, listen to that. Coach people, Ryan, Spawn, thank you very much. Tool Spitter folks, the Cole brothers, Stephen, and Beer Giver, of course, Sean, and Quick Thick Switch, our folks, and Randall and Lottie. So thank you all very much, and of course our sponsors. So visit our sponsors, give them stuff, hang out, eat all the bagels. Don't make me take them home. And thank you guys all for coming. And come to our next one.